What's going on, guys? Sam Adams here, and welcome back to another episode of The Drop. And this week is a very interesting week as far as video game releases go. We have the very unique Starlink Battle for Atlas coming out on the PS4, Xbox One, and PC, otherwise known as No Man's Skylanders. And on top of that, you have Soul-Calibur VI, LEGO DC SuperVillains, and many more games. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into it. To kick things off this week, we have Soul-Calibur VI coming out on the PS4, the Xbox One, and the PC. Soul-Calibur VI represents the latest entry in the premier weapons-based head-to-head fighting series and continues the epic struggle of warriors searching for the legendary Soul Sword. Taking place in the 16th century, revisit the events of the original Soul-Calibur to uncover hidden truths. The heroic battles transpire in a beautiful and fluid world with eye-popping graphics and visual appeal. Soul-Calibur VI tunes the battle, movement, and visual systems so players can execute visceral and dynamic attacks with ease. Soul-Calibur VI marks a new era of the franchise and its legendary struggle between the mighty Soul Swords. And now for some features. Unreal Engine. For the first time in franchise history, beautiful and jaw-dropping 3D character models, visual effects, and stages are rendered in Unreal Engine. New battle mechanics. Read opponents' attacks to execute a strategic reversal edge to land a counterattack while in guard. Multiple fighting styles. Choose from a worldly roster of warriors, each with their own deadly weapons, fighting styles, and visual flair. Dynamic battles. Spectacular high-speed battles featuring all new battle mechanics, taking gameplay to the next level. So for fans of fighting games, this is going to be right up your alley. Now for me, I'm not necessarily a big hands-on fighting game kind of guy. I do appreciate them, but I'm not really great at playing them. But when it comes to the competitive tournament-based style of combat, I cannot wait to see what people have up their sleeves. There's always some kind of big guest when it comes to the Soul-Calibur franchise, and for this specific entry, Geralt of Rivia from The Witcher is going to be the headlining kind of superstar, if you will, but many more characters are going to be in the roster. But it is very cool to see so many new ideas coming into Soul-Calibur, not only when it comes to characters, but also when it comes to the fighting style with Unreal Engine. It's going to be a fantastic entry. So if you guys are fans of Soul-Calibur, or if you want to check out a new fighting game that you might not have played before, Soul-Calibur VI is again coming out on the PS4, the Xbox One, and the PC. Moving on, we have LEGO DC SuperVillains coming out on the PS4, the Xbox One, the Switch, and the PC. It's good to be bad. Embark on an all-new DC LEGO adventure by becoming the best villain the universe has ever seen in LEGO DC SuperVillains. Players will have the ability to create and play as an all-new supervillain throughout the game, unleashing mischievous antics and wreaking havoc in an action-packed, hilarious story written in collaboration with DC. Set in an expansive open-world experience within the DC universe, the Justice League has disappeared, leaving Earth's protection to the counterparts from a parallel universe who have proclaimed themselves as the Justice Syndicate. It's up to you and a crazy group of misfits to uncover the intentions of Earth's new, strange, wannabe superheroes. Joined by renowned DC supervillains the Joker, Harley Quinn, Lex Luthor, Deathstroke, Killer Frost, Sinestro, and countless others from the Justice League, players will set out on an epic adventure to ensure their villainy remains unrivaled. The thing that stands out to me the most with LEGO DC SuperVillains is that it is written in collaboration with DC, meaning it sort of kind of makes it canon in a way, which is something that's really interesting. But aside, I do think that if you are a fan of LEGO games, this one is going to be right up your alley. Of course, LEGO games are always just good fun. If you come home after a long day at work and want to just kind of veg out on the couch and play something that's very easy to kind of digest, if you will, then LEGO games are always the go-to for a lot of people. But I will say, coming up on the holiday season, if you do have a younger person in your life that you need to buy a gift for, this one very well could be a pretty good option depending on their interest, and I would say it's going to be the go-to for many parents this holiday season. The one thing I will say is that there is a season pass with this game, and I'm not a big fan of that. I feel like as a LEGO game, it doesn't really warrant itself to a season pass, but I digress. We could get into the business schematics of this entire thing if we wanted to, but we won't. So if you are a fan of LEGO, if you're a fan of DC, or you know somebody that might be a younger person in your life that might be a fan of both, you might want to check out LEGO DC SuperVillains coming out on the PS4, the Xbox One, the Switch, and the PC this week. Next up, we have Starlink Battle for Atlas coming out on the PS4, the Xbox One, and the Nintendo Switch. Starlink Battle for Atlas is a new action-adventure game where you assemble a custom starship mounted to your game controller to launch into an interplanetary adventure. Lead a group of heroic interstellar pilots who use modular ships to mix and match their unique gear and skills on the fly. Travel the star systems, unite the galaxy against villainous destructive forces. Build, battle, and win. Mix and match pilots, hulls, wings, and weapons to build a starship of your dreams with an unprecedented level of customization and creativity. Changes to your physical starship are instantly reflected in your gameplay experience, allowing you to immediately jump into the battle. Travel seamlessly through 7 exotic alien worlds of the Atlas star system, a galaxy full of unique challenges to encounter and overcome, plus fly directly from the planet into space for more battles, then head back to another world when you are ready. the exploration is endless. So in the same vein as LEGO Dimensions, Skylanders, or even Amiibo, this is one of those games where you have a toy that is then brought to life within the game, and it's a very awesome concept. For those that are fans of collectibles, for those that are fans of toys, this is going to be something that kind of scratches two itches at once, where you do get a pretty good looking game on top of the ability to collect whatever you want to have within the game. It's a very cool little idea. Again, for fans of collectibles, this is going to be one to keep your eye on, but on top of that, for those that might be looking, as I said with LEGO DC SuperVillains, for a gift for a younger kid, this could be something that is a big hit this holiday season, because I know that when I was younger, I played with action figures, and this is kind of the best of both worlds. So if you did want to check this one out, it's coming out this week on the PS4, the Xbox One, and the Nintendo Switch. And I will say, as a side note, when this was revealed at E3 this year, I didn't know it was a Toys to Life game whenever the trailer first started playing. I was very impressed with the way the game looked, and it looks like it's going to have a pretty good story and graphics to boot. So again, keep your eye on this one, a very cool idea. And again, for fans of collectibles, this one might be right up your alley. And to wrap up the main headliner games for the week, we have For Honor Marching Fire Edition for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Now you might be saying, Sam, why are we talking about For Honor in 2018? This is what For Honor should have been whenever it first came out. Let me make that very clear. So before we dive into what is new with the Marching Fire Edition, what is For Honor? I could read you the official description, but essentially it takes warriors from across various time periods and pits them head to head in battle, and that's pretty much the overall gist of it. The game didn't do that well early on, and it began to kind of pick up some steam, and then it would drop back off. It's been given away for free multiple times. You probably have it in your Steam library if you are one of those guys that jumps on free games like I am. But overall, now with the Marching Fire Edition and the Marching Fire expansion coming out, it is going to be pretty much a new breath of life for Honor. So you might be saying, Sam, what is new with this new addition to the game? Well, here we go. 4v4 PvP Breach Mode. Attack and defend a castle in Breach, For Honor's new strategic 4v4 PvP mode. Attackers must work together to storm the castle gates and kill the lord of the castle, while defenders must either take down the battering ram or kill all attackers to protect the lord. Graphically enhanced gameplay. Significant graphical enhancements bring you closer to the action than ever before, including updated and enriched textures, improved global illumination, and a new sky and cloud technology system. And I will say, looking at some side-by-side screenshots, it looks pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. New heroes are coming from the Far East. 4 warriors from the Wulin faction are traveling west after civil war, betrayal, and personal tragedies strike close to home. Zhang Jun, a once featured general, now uses his guando to wreak havoc on the west. The Nuxia, a bodyguard betrayed by allies, uses her hook swords to slay anyone who stands in her way. The Shaolin, a warrior monk forced to watch his monastery burn, now spreads the gospel with his staff. And the Tiandi once sat fourth in line for the throne, but was consumed by madness and killed his brothers, ultimately leading to the defeat of his empire. Now he atones by seeking out the wicked with his broadsword. Owners of the For Honor Marching Fire expansion will receive instant access to these new heroes and will have 2 weeks of exclusivity before they are available to all players via in-game currency. And finally, unlimited single-player content. Arcade mode is a new solo or 2-person online co-op mode where players fight battles and earn rewards that carry over to all multiplayer modes. This mode allows you to explore new heroes and level them up before taking them into PvP. With infinite replayability, this quick play mode will deliver a new battle every time with varying objectives, enemies, and modifiers. Beginning in November, Arcade Mode will feature weekly events and challenges with exclusive rewards. Also, as an added benefit, players who own Arcade Mode can play with friends who haven't yet purchased this mode. So if you already have For Honor, you get a couple of free things here. You do get the Breach Mode and you get the graphical enhancements. Now, if you don't already have For Honor, then you can get the overall Marching Fire Edition, which includes the base game and the expansion pass, which is normally $30. So ultimately, when it comes down to how you want to get For Honor, if you did choose to go ahead and pick up this Marching Fire Edition, it depends on what you already have. So between $30 and $60 is what you're going to be paying, and the question is it worth it? It depends on what you're into. The fighting style of For Honor is very interesting. If you are a fan of that kind of thing, it's going to be a great fit for you. But overall, am I going to be picking this one up? There are just too many games to play right now, and I don't really want to go back to For Honor that badly, but considering that Ubisoft has stuck with the game, considering they have continued to support the game year after year, even when it hasn't been doing so well, now it's built itself back up to 15 million players, and that's something that is pretty impressive. So if you want to check out the Marching Fire expansion, it's dropping this week on the PS4, Xbox One, and PC versions of For Honor. So to wrap out this week's episode of The Drop, we have some honorable mentions. First off, the Dark Souls trilogy is coming to PS4 and Xbox One. As you would expect, it includes all 3 Dark Souls games. Siberia 3 and Valkyria Chronicles Remastered are both coming to the Nintendo Switch, and NBA 2K Playgrounds 2 is coming to the PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC after a bit of a delay. And so that wraps up this week's episode of The Drop. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to drop me a like down below. And if you happen to be new to the channel, I do upload new stuff throughout the week, and I have a live gaming news show right here every single weeknight at 7 p.m. if you did want to check that out. It's always a good time to keep you guys informed and entertained along the way. But as for right now, I appreciate you guys watching this video. I will talk to you next week with another episode of The Drop, and peace.